Alright, what's up everybody, back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today we are previewing the second round series between the Heat and the Knicks that starts actually today is the day you're seeing this. I'm recording this the night before, it's 12 in the morning. But anyway, yeah, we're previewing that series. We already previewed the Suns and Nuggets. If you missed that one from yesterday, go watch that. Also doing a look-in series. I'll have an episode on Memphis Grizzlies out later today as well. So stay tuned for that one. If you missed any of the other look-in episodes, go watch them. Thank you guys for the views on the vids and the shorts, which I really appreciate it. If you do have the content, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, do all stuff like that. Share it with a friend. If you got a friend, someone that likes basketball, send them the channel. And I'm also on Twitter at EverydayHoops10. I don't really promote it a lot, but I should, and I'm gonna do that. And so, let's not waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So, this Eastern Conference second round matchup between the 5 seed New York Knicks and the 8 seed Miami Heat. Who would have thought that the Heat and Knicks would play in a series to have a chance to reach these conference finals? Because I didn't think that was going to happen. But it's crazy. How they got here, the Knicks defeated the Cleveland Cavaliers in 5 games. Put on a great show. Jalen Brunson was amazing. RJ really showed up in the last few games. And they had the role players, guys like Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson, made some huge impacts in that series on the glass and on the defensive end and everywhere to really surprise everybody to win that series in 5. And then for Miami Heat, they shocked the world. They defeated the number 1 team in the NBA, the Milwaukee Bucks, in 5. Jimmy Butler put on absolutely insane performance, but they also got some help from guys like Doug Robinson and Kevin Love and Kyle Lowry and Caleb Martin that you did not expect. And now here they are in the second round, matching up against each other. This is going to be a very hard-fought, tough series. Definitely probably some low scoring, probably some 95 to 97 type games. Both these teams are very gritty, hustle. Not teams that are going to put up 120, 130 points, even though, both these teams have really good offense in the first round. But they're usually not teams that put up high volume number of points. They usually try to grit and grind their way to victory. And yeah, it's going to be just a really physical series. Looking at the Knicks side first, the Knicks, Jalen Brunson's playing at an amazing level. Got guys like Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson that can make a lot of the small interior hustle plays. Especially on defense, they're going to be big. Josh Hart's going to be huge. He's probably going to be main assignment on Jimmy Butler for a lot of the game, unless they're probably going to put RJ on Jimmy, maybe, in the starting lineup, because Quentin Grimes plays, Josh Hart goes to the bench, so they might put RJ on Jimmy, or maybe Quentin Grimes, but then again, I'll probably put RJ maybe on Jimmy. So all the wings are going to have a very tough task to guard Butler when they're in the game. They're going to have to make a lot of the rebounding plays as well. Jalen Brunson's playing at an amazing level right now. So very interesting to see how the Heat match up with Jalen Brunson. Who's guarding Jalen Brunson? I would assume maybe it is Gabe Vincent, I guess, will guard Jalen Brunson. I guess. I'm not really sure, but I guess, yeah, Gabe Vincent will guard Jalen Brunson. Also very interested to see what happens to Julius Randle. He hurt his game last game, game 5, against the Cavaliers late in the second quarter. Didn't return for the second half. And he was already dealing with an ankle injury that happened about 2 weeks before the season ended, that he didn't play for the last 2 weeks. He came back in game 1 and didn't have a great first round series. And the Knicks still got by with that, which is really good. So we'll see what happens with Julius Randle in this series, because I think the Knicks are going to definitely need a little bit more of him. And looking at this Knicks team against this Heat team, I think they definitely probably have the size advantage. I'll say Mitchell Robinson just stopped playing. Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, 2 7-footers, now going against Bam, who is that's a tough ask as well with Mitchell Robinson. And they're Obi Toppin. There's already some pretty good minutes. Julius Randle as well. And for the Heat, after Bam, you got Kevin Love, Caleb Martin, who usually aren't really big bigs. They're more of like stand on the wing bigs, which could be a blessing and a curse for the Knicks. Because the Knicks, they don't have to worry about controlling the paint battle as much. Mitchell Robinson can just live in the paint, not having to worry about guarding 2 7-footers, but also maybe they'll have to stretch Mitch Robinson out a little bit more, and he's going to have to go guard the perimeter, so that's going to be interesting. Then Julius Randle as well have to guard the perimeter a lot, so very interesting to see, especially with him on a bum ankle. I think the depth and the three-point shooting of this Knicks team has to be big, because the Miami Heat role players showed up really big. The Miami Heat on a really big three-point shooting team, so the Knicks guys like Quentin Grimes and Manuel Quickley had kind of tough first round series, can step up and hit some shots. I think that'll be huge for the Knicks, especially with Julius Randle not being 100%. They definitely need that. And this Knicks team is just looked amazing in the first round. They're just built well. They're built for greatness. They're built for to be a really, really good team. Did not expect them to go to beat the Cavs like that, and now they get a good matchup against Miami, where I think they legitimately can win this series. They're gonna have that. For the Miami Heat, want to see how Jimmy Butler, is he gonna continue this hot performance? I think he's gonna be able to, but also I think about it in two ways. I think about it first, the Bucks are one of the best defenses in the league this season. He popped off like that. And the Knicks weren't on amazing defense in the regular season. In the playoffs against the Cavs, they play pretty good defense, but they're not usually a top defensive team. So Jimmy, that should be easier. But then again, Knicks makes adjustments, and the Knicks have more grittier guys like Josh Hart and Quentin Grimes and RJ who are gritty type defenders. So it's gonna be a lot different of a look against the Knicks than it is the Bucks. So I want to see how Jimmy Butler does. I think the big X factor for the Miami Heat is Bam Adebayo. I don't think he can get away anymore with Bam Adebayo having 12, 13 points and then winning and have to rely on Kyle Lowry and Caleb Martin and Kevin Love to bail them out and hit 3 or 4 threes and Duncan Robinson hit 5 threes. Bam Adebayo needs to be Bam Adebayo. He needs to be 20 and 10 Bam like we see in the regular season. But I think it's just going to be very hard for Miami to keep relying on the Caleb Martins and Gabe Vincents and Kyle Lowrys and Kevin Love when we haven't seen them being reliable all season. And then all of a sudden they come into a playoff series and are really, really good and have won you that series. But now they have to keep that going against this really, really tough Knicks team that showed a lot of promise in that first round matchup. And they're a team that's going to make adjustments. They're a team that's really gritty and grimy. And it's going to be a battle in there. Usually the Miami Heat win the hustle battles. But the Knicks are a team that loves the hustle. They love the hustle as well. So they got to go in there. The role players got to really play well if the Heat want a chance of winning this series. But they really need Bam Adebayo to be Bam Adebayo in this series. They can't afford letting him get off with 12 points, 13 points, 14 points, and they could just win because they can rely on the other guys to shoot because we don't know what's going to happen with them. Ultimately, I think this is going to be a very hard-fought, very tough series that's going to go long. Well, maybe not a little 7, but I don't think the people are giving the Heat as a lot of credit or maybe look in this series that I think I am. I don't know. I just feel like Jimmy Butler by himself at this point can get you a game or two. And I'm expecting the role players to have a few games where they pop off. I mean, I'm saying the entire series, but maybe a game or two where Duck Robinson hits 4 or 5 threes, or maybe Kyle Lowry hits some big shots, or Kevin Love hits some big shots. I think they can still kind of have that effect a little bit, maybe not to the much of a point that they did in the Milwaukee series, but I think they still can have a little bit of a push. But I just think this Knicks team is way too good. You know, this Knicks team is built for this Miami Heat team in a way. The Miami Knicks are like, Miami's going to grind and play defense. You know, we grind and play defense as well. We got great grind players that hustle. We got that as well. And I think Jalen Brunson is going to be huge in this series, especially with Miami Heat guards not being amazing defenders. Guys like Gabe Vincent, Kyle Lowry are solid, but they're not great defenders. So I think Jalen Brunson definitely can have another big series again. And he's going to have a big series, especially with Julius Randle not being what he was 100%. And yeah, I'm very looking forward to this year. I think it's going to be a very tough one. A lot of bodies hitting the floor, a lot of cuts, a lot of bruises. It's going to be that type of series. And I'm really here for it. For my prediction in this series, there's just something about the Miami Heat that I really like. And I really would love to see the Miami Heat keep going. I want to keep seeing Jimmy Butler and what he pulls out of his hat. But ultimately, I just think the Knicks are too good. I'm going to go Knicks in 6. I'm going to go Knicks in 6. Knicks in 6. I think Jalen Brunson and the role players can bring him home and go to the conference finals. Imagine the New York Knicks in the conference finals, man. Wow. That'd be insane. But yeah, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoy. Once again, if you guys content, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, all stuff like that. I really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. And I will see you guys tomorrow.